Have you ever wondered what's it like to spend a night at the zoo? Well, let's find out.
Matthew, what do you see in there?
Cassowary.
Matthew, tell me. We are on a night tour.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Just wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. I know I've been a bit absent on YouTube lately, but that's because I've been incredibly busy recently with family events and activities. One of those was our recent trip to Taronga Wildlife Retreat, which is a hotel inside a famous Taronga Zoo in Sydney. Now, many Sydney locals, especially those with kids, will have visited Taronga Zoo. It's also become a popular attraction for tourists who want to see some of the unique and wonderful animals that exist only here in Australia. But Taronga Wildlife Retreat only opened about a year ago, and with 2020's lockdowns and restrictions, many have yet to experience it. Today, I want to share with you my family's experience staying at this one-of-a-kind eco-retreat, the positives and negatives, as well as a review of Taronga Zoo itself. I'll also provide some tips and some extra activities you can do with the kids to really make their visit extra special and fun. You can do these at Taronga or even at any other zoo in the world. So stay tuned until the end of this video. Starting off, for those unfamiliar with Taronga Zoo, it's Australia's largest zoo and it sits on the shores of Sydney Harbour in the suburb of M.O.T.I.V.A.T.E. It's quite close to the center of Sydney. To get there, you can take either the ferry, bus, or you can always drive if you have a vehicle. The Wildlife Retreat shares the same parking as the main zoo, and you will get free overnight parking along with your accommodation booking. When you arrive at the Wildlife Retreat, you are greeted by the main lounge, which serves as the hotel lobby. This space is spectacular and has a panoramic view of Sydney Harbour, including the iconic Harbour Bridge and Sydney Opera House. This is definitely the best place to get some family photos during the day and at night. The lounge is beautifully decorated and furnished to give it a safari lodge feel. At the end of a long day exploring the zoo, you can relax in this space and enjoy some drinks or hot chocolate milk for kids. For the room accommodation, we stayed in the bushland room, which overlooked the animal sanctuary. The sanctuary is an enclosed mini zoo with animals such as koalas, echidnas, and other native Australian species. This is definitely the highlight of this hotel and the thing that makes it so unique. The fact that you can see the animals up close from your room and watch them being fed and roaming around is an experience that both kids and adults will love. Aside from the bushland room, there are a few other options, one of them being the Harbour View room, which has views of the Sydney Harbour. This is actually a more expensive room, but for me, I would recommend the rooms that overlook the sanctuary instead, as I feel it provides a more unique nature experience. If we have the chance to visit again though, I would actually book the Animal View room, which is similar to the bushland room, but just one floor below. So instead of an overlooking view, you are closer to the ground and feel closer and much more immersed with the animals and natural setting. These rooms are slightly more expensive, so just keep that in mind. In terms of the room interiors, they are very similar to your standard upscale hotel room. The furniture and decor are modern and you have your in-room TV and tablet. One minor negative would be the room size, which I felt was on the smaller side. Another more significant negative is that the maximum occupancy of each room is limited to 3. This means if you have a family of 2 adults and 2 or 3 kids, you will need to book 2 adjoining rooms, which is what my family did. This is different from most other hotels, which will comfortably fit a family of 4 in one room. So do keep this in mind, especially when budgeting. For families who will need more than one room, I suggest taking the Family Escape package, which will actually save you on cost for the room as well as add some extra activities to your stay. So speaking of extra activities, these come with the different accommodation packages they have. The main ones are the sanctuary tour and the guided family night walk at the zoo. Firstly, the sanctuary tour. Now, this is an amazing experience and a must if you stay at the hotel. The tour lasts around 30 to 40 minutes through the wildlife sanctuary of the retreat, and you get to see several native animals up close. The animals aren't shy, and you really feel as if you are walking through their natural habitat. My kids absolutely love this tour. I also have to say that the guides on this tour are very knowledgeable and engaging and give you so much information about the animals. The second activity, which is included in the Family Escape package, is the guided night walk. Now, the positive about this activity is that you get to roam around the main zoo without the daytime crowds. It definitely gives you a unique perspective of the zoo after the gates have shut. It was almost as if we had a backstage exclusive pass. However, the negatives of this experience was that there just wasn't too much to see. Most of the animals were resting or in their sleeping enclosures. Our tour guide tried to take us to a few animal exhibits, but most of the time we were searching with flashlights to no avail. Ultimately, it's one of those instances where the idea sounds great, but the execution and end result isn't really up to my expectations. If you go into it expecting something similar to the night safari in Singapore or Bali, then you will be disappointed, definitely. Now, if you're a food lover like me, you might be wondering about dining options during your visit. In our experience, while the lunch at the zoo cafeteria was pretty overpriced and disappointing, dinner at the hotel restaurant was superb and reminiscent of fine dining at an upscale restaurant. I especially like the use of native Australian ingredients such as Davidson plum and lemon myrtle. I do recommend you book ahead and request for a window seat to get that great Sydney Harbour view as you enjoy your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The included Western-style breakfast was also very good. However, choice is a bit limited compared to other hotel buffets. But again, the wonderful views in the morning as you sip your coffee just elevates the breakfast experience. A final mention about the Taronga Wildlife Retreat is that when you stay there, you are actually helping the Taronga Conservation Society. A portion of profits from the zoo and the retreat go towards various endeavors in wildlife conservation, habitat recovery, and scientific research. So it's always nice to know that you can have a wonderful family adventure and help our planet in a small way. I also wanted to talk quickly about our experience at Taronga Zoo itself. Now, my family and I have been to Taronga several times over the years, and what I really love is that the zoo constantly updates itself. So every time you go back, there's something new and interesting. This time around, we saw the updated African lion exhibit, which was very exciting. Other highlights of the zoo includes the Sumatran tigers, the Asian elephants, the seal show, the bird show, and of course, the always popular koalas and kangaroos. An interesting fact about Taronga is that while relatively small compared to Los Angeles Zoo, for example, which is double the size, Taronga Zoo houses over 4,000 animals and 350 species compared to 1,400 animals and 270 species at Los Angeles Zoo. So there is a huge amount to see at Taronga Zoo, and you can easily spend 2 or even 3 days there, especially if you or your kids are animal lovers. This is also one of the great things about staying at the wildlife retreat, because if you book just For an overnight stay, you actually get free access to the zoo on both days of your stay. Just leave your luggage at the lobby before check-in and after checkout, and feel free to explore the zoo until your heart is content. Oh, and just a quick tip for first-time visitors, Taronga Zoo has some of the best views of Sydney Harbour for family picture taking. I suggest heading to the grassy area next to the free flight bird show. It's the best area for a quiet picnic lunch and some truly awesome family photos. I also wanted to mention the wild ropes activity at the zoo, which we didn't get time to try. This is a high ropes course including suspension bridges and zip lines for both adults and kids. It's located inside the zoo and it's another fun activity for visitors. Definitely something our family will try on our next visit. The zoo also has other special features like the water play and cable car, both of which we were unable to try as they were both closed during our time of visit, maybe due to the COVID pandemic. I'm not too sure. So to summarize, Taronga Zoo is without a doubt a must-see for families in the Sydney region as well as any tourists to Sydney. If you are thinking of visiting Sydney, definitely do not miss this place. Try to spend at least one night at the Wildlife Retreat as well and 1 or 2 days exploring the zoo. It's definitely a worthwhile and my family and I give it a 2 thumbs up. If any of you watching have also been to Taronga Zoo or Taronga Wildlife Retreat, please do leave a comment below and share your own experiences. I would love to hear what others think as well. Now, as promised, for all those mommies and daddies out there, I'm going to share a few tips, strategies, and activities for your kids to maximize their enjoyment on your family's next adventure. For any family activity, try to get your kids excited and engaged beforehand. For our Taronga trip, I made sure that my kids had their binoculars and flashlights as well as their iPads so they can take lots of photos and videos of animals that interest them. I also made sure they packed essentials such as water, their caps or hats, and sun cream. They have their own backpacks with them where they keep all their items and even a little activity booklet that I have prepared for them. Getting your kids involved in the preparation for a trip builds excitement and emotional connection. Before heading into the zoo, I also downloaded a map and got my boys to plan an itinerary. I gave them a general plan for our 2-day trip and asked them to decide which exhibits they'd like to visit and the route we will take through the zoo. Doing this is a great way to develop your kids' planning and organizational skills, their cognitive thinking skills, their problem-solving skills, and lots of other skills and values like respect for others' opinions and teamwork. Now, let me explain further the booklet which I have specifically prepared for this trip. An activity booklet like this will help keep the engagement levels up throughout the day as well as weave additional educational components into the overall experience. I've put a link in the description below where you can access this booklet and it's in Word format so you can make the necessary changes that will suit your child's age. I'm more than happy to share materials in my videos. All I ask is that you give this video a thumbs up and like if you enjoyed the content. At the end of our wonderful zoo visit, I gave my boys a special treat, which in this case was ice cream. This was to reward them for being cooperative, responsible, and for simply having fun at the zoo. I asked my kids to fill out the form at the back of the booklet and sign it. I feel it's important to do a recap of any family vacation or activity. It allows your kids to provide their feedback and gives them an opportunity to reflect and be thankful for the experience. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of your own tips and strategies for teaching your kids during family trips. I would really love to know. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed coming along with my family and I as we explored Taronga Zoo and Taronga Wildlife Retreat. I also hope that you found my review helpful. I'll definitely be sharing my reviews of other interesting places and activities in future videos. So do click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to hear more from me in the future. I'll leave you with some photos of our family adventure, and I'll see you next time.